All right, so today's message is green flags, noticing the green flags, focusing on the green flags, and it's like kindness is free. It's a little thing that I go by. It takes little effort to be kind. So focusing on the green flags is something that I am doing for 2023. I think this is something that anyone who maybe has had, life happen, right? You can find yourself looking for or being very hyper vigilant about noticing concerns or things that could put you in the same predicament again. So you're like, red flag detector is like on it, right? But what does that create? It can create walls. It can create defensiveness. It can create whatever, some long list of issues. Go see a therapist post or page for that. But my theory is, given the subconscious dictates 95 to 97% of the way we move and groove through our lives. And then the subconscious is primarily like really built up in early childhood, 0 to 7. Could be lower than that if you're looking at different publications. Feel free to go search Google for some reputable articles, sources, etc. There's plenty out there, but it goes from 95 to 97%, depending upon what you're looking at, and 0 to 7 years, maybe even 0 to 5, depending upon what you're reading, who you're referencing, etc. So given that it's created so early and it dictates so much of what you do as an adult, you have to be very intentional about what sort of programming do you naturally have in your brain that's impacting your adult life. So my thing is about focusing on the green flags, focusing on the positive traits, characteristics, environments, etc. that you want for your life. And when you focus on that and you get very clear about the things that you want in the positive light, then you are more likely to find yourself in those situations, because you'll be able to notice when something is positive, green, something that won't cause issues, but you won't be thinking about the won't. You'll be thinking about, oh, I like this. This makes me feel good, because it is a positive trait. Where sometimes, subconsciously, we subconscious comfort zones. Chaos can be comfortable. Accepting hot mess situations can be comfortable. Just something to think about. Do you want that? If you do not want that, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So how do you get different results? You gotta changing the thinking. If you really don't really focus and be very intentional about that subconscious piece, what you're gonna probably keep, not getting those goals or whatever have you. I think also focusing on the green flags, the positive things that you want to see, will enable you to notice those things. Ever see one purple car and then all of a sudden you notice all the purple cars? You never thought about purple cars, but then they're just everywhere. It's a new thing, and now it's like triggered and it's like brought to the front of your mind. So my thinking is, if you really bring forth the green flags, and this is something that people, 60% secure attachment, etc. Whatever. I kind of looked that up once, but in general, people who grow up in positive environments, also 2-parent homes, maybe, and those 2-parent homes, at least you got one caregiver that really could give a lot of that time to you to support and support all of the emotional needs. And if you scraped your knee, they were there to, put that bandage on and clean it up and tell you, little Johnny, that you're going to be just fine. You have that, then those people consistently see those positive traits. So what I'm saying as an adult is do the same thing, like reset your life by giving yourself all of those things and being very intentional about the environments that you put yourself in. Make that your new subconscious beliefs, because you're seeing it. And also there's this thing on when I was doing some work or whatever have you, and it's like, when you're thinking about these subconscious beliefs and it's like, oh, wow, I think I have this subconscious belief. Here's how you can counter it, make it positive, and then find evidence in the world in which you actually are getting that said need. Maybe it's not, if it's in romance, you don't get it from a romantic partner, but you get it in work. You get it from your family, you get it from friends, or whatever have you. So you're actually reinforcing the positive that you see by noticing it, by writing that evidence in there, and then like really being intentional about noticing these things. And also, if you're bringing it to front of mind and making these, the green flags, I said green light, the green flags front of mind and forward in your subconscious, you're able to notice it and express gratitude for it and show appreciation to the people that give that to you. Maybe it's in work. Sometimes we go to work and we're like, I gotta go to work. But, if you really take the other side of it, and you're going in with, I gotta work, with that negative Nancy vibe. But if you can flip it and say, hey, I'm going to work, as soon as you feel that feeling and notice that negativity and say, you know what, this check pays my bills, or it provides money for this business side that I'm building, or I really appreciate Sally over there in the office that I work with on that team. She's really great. Like, find those positives to make that experience feel better. Your energy is just going to be way better if you're focusing on the positives and you flip the script. Now, this doesn't, I'll say here's the way that it can weed out some of the bad, the toxic. It just won't feel good, but, and you can have the appropriate communication to communicate like when certain things need to be changed, but you won't do it from this pile up of resentment and red flag vibes. You can do it from a place of, oh, I really like this thing and I'm noticing I'm not getting it. Like, how can I proceed to get whatever have you, a bit more of it or whatever have you. But I think if you focus on the green flags, you focus on these positive things, you'll notice when it's not being given, but you can approach it and you can try to get that need met in a positive way, because you'll notice it sooner. You'll notice when these key things are missing, and but I think for the most part you'll be more aware of just all the great things that are going on. So that one little bad thing or whatever have you, or the one thing that you might be missing, isn't that big of a deal, and it can take time to get better. I would say if you are missing something and you communicate in a nice way about it, the people you're communicating with, if they're decent humans, they're going to try to sort it out and see how they can make things work, right? But if not, then you can assess and make sure you get that need met in some other way, depending upon the situation. If it's, your romantic partner, right? And there's something, but maybe they're busy, but you have friends, you have a friend circle. Maybe this need could be met elsewhere outside of the friendship. I think Esther Perel says it best in terms of, years ago, it was communities really, we leveraged our community, but now we're trying to get one person to do everything that a community once used to be. We put a lot of stress on partners, friendships, whatever, whoever, to be all in one, which like no human, superhumans. We're trying to make people superhumans. But, in reality is you can have a community to help you get all these little pieces of needs met. So focus on the green flags. If you focus on the green flags, I believe you can get more of that and have a more satisfying life, because, the more you make others feel great, the more they will want to be around you. And when you notice those things and you can appreciate what you already have, you can get more of it. So, this is my way of try to logically explain some of the things we quickly see on the internet and even counter the toxicity stuff that's going around, is really taking the time to get clear on the things that you want, so then you can notice when they're actually occurring around you. And when they're not occurring around you, you can work towards getting that need met. versus focusing on the things that you don't want and like really forgetting about the things that you do want. So we do some interesting things as humans, but for me, I'm not focusing on red flags this year. I'm flipping them to green flags, and I will know when I don't have those things met, and I'll just, that's how I'm moving. Focusing on the green flags, being better about seeing the things that I appreciate and expressing it, and making sure my environments are the environments that I want in my life, so I'm able to continuously confirm that the things that I want can really be achieved and had and whatever have you. So, when you have an interesting life experience, you can normalize not the best things, and maybe even be in positions to accept certain situations or whatever have you. But, many of us need to double down on the positives, getting clear about positive traits, positive environments, just the positive. Normalize that in your life, so then you can have more of it and get rid of this toxic stuff. There's a lot of beauty in the world. There's a lot of positive in the world. And we all have to do better about being intentional about noticing it, spreading it, all of that jazz. So 2023 challenge, I say focus on the green flags.